Glock is taking advantage of the American consumer market. The V Series Glock will be remembered in the history books as the largest scam in modern American firearms manufacturing. What Glock has essentially done is redacted the commercial sale of all of their generations 3, 4, and 5 guns available to you, the American public, while continuing the sale of all of their law enforcement and military contracts, and on the same hand, promising you an improved Generation V Series gun. It'll be a Generation 5, but a better trigger, while siding with Everytown for gun safety, anti-Second Amendment legislation, both in California and in Oklahoma, and bending the knee and establishing a dangerous new precedent that will lead to Ruger, Palmetto State Armory, Shadow Systems, and every other Glock and Glock clone gun to be undermined and bending the knee and betraying the Second Amendment commercial market and your Second Amendment rights. The Generation V or V Series gun is an absolute scam. Do not fall victim to it. If you have not seen the release footage of the V Series gun and the new and improved backplate to prevent you from being a felon, which you weren't trying to be a felon anyway overnight, the concealed carrier, the home defender, what they have done is made you a worse product and selling it to you at near the similar price in a worse configuration. A gun that has not been through burn down testing, a gun that has not been tried on many different open source third party channels. What they have done is taking advantage of you. And additionally, they have also only sold you a option that has no optics availability. So what does that mean? The normal American concealed carrier, home defender, dude preparing for doomsday to protect his family, what is that guy going to do? He's going to get taken advantage of. He's going to go out and buy the normal version, or the ones with comp on the end, compensated versions, because they're really selling to the boomer and FUD market without that plate. So then what's going to happen is all those guys are going to have to go out and either, hey, spoiler alert, get another gun and another gun. And thus now they have you. You had your Generation 5 Glock 19. And then you went out and you got your Generation V Series or V Series gun without an optic. And guess what you had to do next? When they released their MOS model, which should be standard across the board anyway, because they're already giving you a poor product, and the acro and aim point combination, the COA, was the only solution to fix that. So now what do you have? Now you have an untested, unproven gun with polymer sights and no optic with a worse trigger that's not backwards compatible with your Generation V gun, with your Generation 5 gun, with worse internal components that now is not going to be compatible with your Generation 3 Glock 26 or Glock 19 or whatever you have going on. So what has happened here? I'll tell you, because I just need to let you know, do not fall victim to the V Series Glock. It is stupid. Go look up, there's footage of it, guys showing, this is the Generation 3, guys showing the backplate, guys showing the internal. We won't do all that here. But what you need to understand, the V Series gun is a complete and utter untested, unreliable ripoff. We've tested the Gen 3s, we've tested the Gen 4s and the Gen 5s. Upon release of the Gen 4, there were massive reliability and quality control issues. Quality control, since that little fake pandemic thing that happened a couple years ago, ever since that, what do you think Glock's quality control has looked like? Correct. It has gone significantly down. So if you have been around long enough to remember the Generation 3 teething issues and the Generation 4 and moving into the Generation 5 issues with the finishes and other issues, you will know exactly what I'm talking about. So listen to what I'm trying to tell you. Don't fall victim to the biggest scam that's happening right now. I can see it. Go get a V Series. Guys are trying to convince me. Go get a V Series, Trench. It's going to be the best thing ever. From what I have seen and what I am looking at is an independent third party. What I am seeing is a worse trigger system, a worse assembly internally to prevent you from doing something that you weren't going to do anyway. To prevent that, they have made a worse design, a worse product, and they're selling it under the disguise, in my opinion, of an upgraded trigger. From what I'm seeing, it's either exactly the same or slightly worse. So do not fall victim to this V-Series nonsense. It is a scam, and mark my words, whenever the Generation 6 or whatever they're going to call it comes out, you're going to look back at this time and you're going to remember the time when you should have just stuck with your Generation 3 or Generation 5, or maybe realize that anti-Second Amendment Glock siding with things and bending the knee for all of this every town for gun safety nonsense and this Connecticut AG and all of this anti-Second Amendment legislation going after Glock and Glock clones that has set this dangerous new standard where you could literally lose your ability to own or purchase a Generation 3, 4, and 5 gun due to the false standard and pretense set that you will be a felon all of a sudden overnight when you have never even thought or would never even think to do that because you are a normal, everyday American that is trying to carry something like this Generation 3 Glock 26 to protect yourself and your family. So, listen to what I'm trying to tell you. Do not fall victim to this. What I will tell you is put your money where your mouth is and put your beliefs and your morals where your mouth is. Right now, Ruger is standing up for you and your Second Amendment rights. What I have seen so far is Shadow Systems and Glock have both said that they will be making changes, or what's the word they always use? Innovation. They're going to be innovating. What the word innovation in the Second Amendment space now means is betrayal. We're going to be innovating. We're going to be innovating our Generation 3 and 5 guns. Instead of continuing the sale of the gun that you know and love, we're going to innovate to give you a better trigger. But what has actually happened is they know that everyone wants the Gen 5. But what they have done is promise you a little bit better of a gun because they know that if they don't include an optics plate, everyone will go out and acquire the 19 or the 17 that they want. And then right after, they'll release the optics version. And then right after that, they'll release the Generation 6. So now you have a Generation 5, a Generation V series, and a Generation 6, 2 Generation V series. So 4 different things trying to do one task, okay? So this deserved its own rant because, dude, I'm telling you guys, don't fall victim to this. You are going to be ripped off. They are trying to rip you off. They're trying to make a lot of money off of a market and a consumer base that used to trust them. These fanboys are going to flock to them. Oh, I've always carried a Glock, so I got to go get the new one. They know that. So they're taking advantage of their audience. They know that guys are going to run out and want to put a Generation V series in their gun or in their holster. That is stupid. So listen to me. If you take anything from this video, these are my thoughts and opinions based on news and publicly available information and what I am seeing out of the V-Series release. What it looks like to me is an unreliable, untested, and slightly heavier and worse internals for an item that you don't need. They're trying to give it to you or sell it to you to rip you off. That is my opinion. You go do your own research and let me know, but I don't like to support companies that are openly citing and bending the knee and canceling the sale of items that a anti-Second Amendment lobbying group like Everytown for Gun Safety or this Connecticut Attorney General or California and Gavin Newsom and the Oklahoma Second Amendment lobbying, they have cited and agreed with all of this, either actively or passively. And if you go out and acquire a V-Series, you are just as bad as them, in my opinion. Anyway, let me know what you guys think. I just needed to get this out to my audience because I'm seeing guys fall victim to this V-Series craze, and it is madness. Stop the madness. If you like this channel, hit the like button, leave your combat llamas, and share it with somebody that is about to fall victim to the V-Series consumer bug.